Welcome. Go ahead and find a long, straight spine, whatever that means for you, either lying down, sitting up, close the eyes, and start to check in with your body and notice what's happening in your thoughts, what's happening in your nervous system, becoming an observer of all of the different things that are happening right now. I've been thinking about self-reflection. I've recently had some time to go back and take some of my own classes, and I've been watching some of my earlier classes from like a year and a half ago and thinking about how much I have changed as a teacher. Laughing at some of the little habits that I used to have. It made me think about this process of self-reflection and change, and how we really need that observer point of view, that non-judgmental, non-biased space where we can just notice what's happening. Film is really helpful for that because I can actually be an observer of my own actions. But see if right now you can become an observer of this moment. And I encourage you throughout this practice to continue to be watching yourself. Not judging harshly or thinking you should be somewhere further along, should be stronger, more flexible, but just noticing. Just as right now, see if you can just notice your breath, not trying to control it or make it change, but just notice how your breath is naturally coming. It's hard. It's hard to watch something and the act of watching changes it. So as you're watching your breath, I want you to decide if you feel like your breath could get a little longer, or maybe it's a little shorter. Maybe you want to count to yourself a single inhale in, a single exhale out. Or maybe it's letting your breath get longer. Not judging, but just noticing what happens. Allowing that space of observance. And then thankfully on this journey we have other people with whom we can collaborate. A friend, a guide, that can perhaps give us a different perspective. So today I offer my guidance from that space. I want you to use my guidance as a tether. To perhaps find a slightly different way to observe what is already happening. So take a deep inhale in. Slow exhale out. Deep inhale in for 3, 2, 1. Long exhale out. 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale in. 3, 2, 1. Long exhale out. 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Deep inhale in together. 2, 1. Hold at the top. 2, 1. Exhale slowly. 2, 1. Hold it empty. 2, 1. Deep inhale in. Fill the belly up. Hold softly at the top. Exhale slowly. Hold softly at the bottom. This is a hard space. Deep inhale in, let the belly fill up. Inhale in a little extra air. Hold the breath at the top. Feel that length all the way through the crown of the head. Keep that length as you slowly exhale. And even as you hold softly at the bottom, feel the spine nice and long. Inhale, let the belly fill up. Let the diaphragm fill up. Exhale, push the belly back toward the spine. Push out all that old, stale air. Inhale, reach the crown of the head a little bit higher. Exhale, keep that length, but relax the rest of the body around the spine. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Bring the palms together, exhale them down in between the eyes. May your practice cultivate enlightened thoughts. Inhale, exhale the hands in front of the mouth. May your practice cultivate enlightened speech. Inhale, exhale the hands in front of the heart. May all of your practices cultivate an enlightened heart. Moving with your breath, slowly find your way to downward facing dog. Hands the width of your shoulders, wrist creases, parallel with the front of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Just take a moment, bend one knee and then the other. Gently bend the elbows, lengthen through the crown of the head. Release the heels down as you're ready. And then inhale, coming forward to plank. Be sure your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Engage your core, center of the back high, and then exhale, heading back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. And exhale, downward dog. One more time with your breath. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, downward dog. This time, inhale that right heel up. Be sure that right hip doesn't stack on top of the left. Exhale, knee to nose, and softly place the right foot down near the right hand. Be sure that that second toe is lined up with the center of your ankle, with the knee, and with the hip on each side. So maybe taking your feet just a little bit wider to feel stable in that foundation. Start to bring your hands to your hips. Come up. And then put a nice bend in that back knee, starting to float that knee so you can really bring that left hip forward and tuck it underneath you, engaging the core, relaxing the shoulders. Pull back on the right heel to engage the right hamstring to take some of the work out of the front of that left thigh, and take a few deep breaths. And just notice what's happening. Notice what's happening in your body, what's happening in your hips as they start to try to sway to one side or the other. Take those same deep breaths. Start to bring the fingertips forward. And on an inhale, bring the left foot up for chair pose. Hip distance apart. Bring the hands back to the hips. Be sure that the second toe still lined up with the knee and the hip, pulling the feet in toward each other, finding that nice neutral spot for the pelvis, getting the chest a little higher. Lift the toes, lift the arches. Same deep breaths. Take one more inhale in. Start to transfer the weight over toward the left foot. As you exhale, send that right foot all the way back. Put a little bend in that back right knee, so that way the pelvis can really tuck forward. Pulling back on that left heel, find that focal point, same deep breaths. Start to feel that warmth generated from your core. Notice what starts to happen to your thoughts, thinking about how long are we going to be here? Shouldn't my legs be stronger than this? And instead, just observing. Notice what happens when there's a little more length. Notice what happens when you bend a little deeper. Not judging it or thinking you should be somewhere. I've been practicing for so long, so my body should be this way. But just breathing with it, noticing it, experiencing it. Take one more inhale in. Exhale, place the hands down. Send that left foot all the way back and up. And place the left foot down next to the right. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, back, downward dog. Inhale, forward to plank. This time, exhale down, chaturanga. Shoulders way out over the fingertips. Inhale, right back up to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through and up, nice little cobra. Exhale, release down, tuck the toes. Inhale, up for plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left heel up. Exhale, bring it forward and through. Place it down near the left hand. Find that same alignment. Feel steady here. And slowly find your way up. A little bend in that back knee to really pull the pelvis forward. Waking up the quads, waking up the hips. And breathe. I know part of me is thinking, really, we're back here again. But let go of what happened before. Be right in this sensation right now, pulling back on that front heel. Being in this space, exploring, noticing the tendencies in the hips. As they get tired, where do they try to go? Reach the fingertips forward. On an inhale, bring that right foot up, chair pose. And exhale, hands to hips. Pulling the feet in toward each other, chest high, same deep breaths. If your entire body is on fire right now, then maybe take a little bend out of the knees. Just noticing what's happening in the body, what's happening with your breath, what's happening with your thoughts. Start to transfer the weight over to the right foot. Slowly send that left foot all the way back. A little bend in that left knee. Same deep breath, same engagement. Feeling all the sensations in the hips, in the thighs. Those quadriceps should be pretty much on fire. See if you can just notice them, breathe with them. One more inhale in. Exhale, place the hands down. Send that right foot all the way back and up. Take an inhale in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through and up. Exhale, release, tuck the toes. Inhale up for plank. Exhale, downward dog. Bring that right foot forward to that lunge. Make a little pillow with the left side of the mat. Place the knee down and tuck the toes. Keep the left fingertips down, bend into the left knee, reach back with the right hand. Nice quad stretch after all that work. Our quads generate a lot of heat in the body. So feel that nice heat. As the quadricep gets longer, try to roll far enough forward that you're actually on the base of your muscle and not on that left knee. Same deep breaths. Maybe bringing that left hand back as well. Really pulling that heel in toward the glute, trying to align the hips with the front of the mat. Notice if that right knee is still in line with the right toes. Same deep breaths. Feel that warmth generating from your breath, from your core, from your quadricep. And gently releasing that sigh and place the hands down. Take an inhale in. Exhale, heading back. Flex the right toes, crown of the head long. Inhale, coming forward. Press down with the top of the left foot. And exhale, heading back. Inhale, heading forward. Exhale, releasing back. Inhale forward one more time. This time, bring the hands to your hips. And gently find your way up. Find that alignment with the hips toward the front of the mat, pulling back on that right heel, pushing down with the top of the left foot. Start to sink the hips forward. Find that little arch in the back. Really let the belly go with each breath. And slowly start to reach the fingertips up. Maybe interlacing except for those index fingers. The more you sink the hips forward, the more you can find that nice arch back. Try to find that opening in the front of the left hip. So think less about how far back you can arch, more about how far forward you can bring that left hip, and then counter that with reaching the fingertips longer. Same deep breaths. One more inhale in. Exhale slowly, coming forward. Bring both hands to the inside of that right foot. Taking a breath, observing what's happening in that right hip. Maybe coming down one forearm at a time. Feel long through the spine. The same deep breaths. Let the head, neck, and shoulders be heavy. Keep that activity in the legs, so keep pressing down with the top of the left foot. Keep pulling back with the right foot. Taking a few breaths to notice and observe with no judgment, just where your body is today. When I was watching some of my older classes and thinking, wow, that wasn't done very well, I thought about how that fear of it not being perfect really could have kept me from not doing it at all. And then I was thinking about how in our practice, oftentimes when a pose looks too challenging or we feel like we've been in it for too long, we think, oh, well, I won't be able to do that pose perfectly, so I'm just not going to do it. But when we can step back and become that observer, in that unbiased way, just notice, well, that's just where I am. So that's exactly as good or as perfect or as correct as I should be doing this pose. Slowly find your way up to your hands. Tuck the back toes, let the mat unroll. Send that right foot back. Take an inhale in, get that heel all the way up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Hold. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale that heel up one more time. This time as you exhale, place it down next to the left foot. Place the forearms down. Engage your core. Press the palms down. Elbows right underneath your shoulders. Now on an inhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Hold. Exhale, send the right foot back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, send it back. One more time. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, send it back. Place the hips down. Roll the shoulders back. Release the core. A few deep breaths. Feel that warmth generated from your solar plexus, from your core. Releasing down, take the left hand right under the left shoulder, reach the right arm out to the right side, press down with that whole right palm, bend the left knee, send that left heel up and over. Keep pressing down with that whole right palm, even putting a little bend in that right elbow, really opening up through that right shoulder. Maybe reaching those left fingers back. Same deep breaths. And gently coming back through center, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the toes. On an inhale, engage your core, coming up for plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Bring that left foot forward. Find that same alignment. Make a little pillow with the right side. Place the right knee down and tuck the toes. Reach back with that left hand. Start to release through that quad. Notice if that left knee tries to fall out. Keep the left leg active. Keep that left heel pulling back. Maybe closing the eyes. Taking a few breaths. It's nice that we have this ability to close our eyes so we can take a step back. It's nice when we can go more internal, taking away this sight so we can really feel what's happening. Just noticing and observing. All right, there are some of those sensations through that quadricep, through the front of the hip. Can I just breathe into those sensations, not judging them as positive or negative, but just experience, just what is happening right now. And as I feel those sensations, maybe I want to reach back with my right hand as well to feel a little deeper. And more doesn't necessarily mean better. We often get attached to the more experience, the deeper experience. But just because it's more doesn't always necessarily mean that we're growing or progressing, because oftentimes we are not ready. We aren't at that place where our body can handle that much sensation. And so then we cause injury and straining. And as it is with so many things, it all comes down to patience. Patience is hard. All of these things take time. Gently releasing that right foot, placing the left hand and right hand on either side, taking an inhale in, pulling back on the left heel, exhale, sending that hip back. Move with your breath. Move through 3 times. Feeling that activity through the legs. Keep pressing down with the left and right toes, keeping that activity through the hips. Notice your breath. Notice the sensations. When you're ready, start to find your way, Anjaneyasana. Hands to hips, aligning, reaching. Now, eventually you'll be able to reach back and grab that ankle back behind you, but most of us are not there. And it doesn't necessarily mean that reaching back and grabbing your ankle is a better experience. It's just an experience. And something that I've noticed is that for a long time I needed to push myself into really deep, crazy poses just because my mind was so busy and so crazy, and I was so caught up in all of the extreme emotions of experiences. But as I've been practicing more and more, there is less of a need to push myself quite so far. My practice has become a much more peaceful one in this process. And don't get me wrong, if I turn off my right hip as it's pushing forward and I stop reaching through my fingertips, then my mind starts to wander. I don't necessarily always need so much going on. But finding that balance between enough concentration that it keeps our concentration, but not needing so much that we're nearly destroying ourselves every time that we're trying to just have an experience. Gently find yourself all the way forward, both hands to the inside of that front foot. Finding your way down to your elbows if you would like. And take a few deep breaths, release the head, neck, and shoulders, keep the feet active, tops of the right toes, pulling back on that left heel. And observe and watch. And it's scary to watch. It's scary to be an observer because we feel like we have less control. I know that's something that I deal with a lot, is thinking that I need to be in control of everything. Otherwise, it's all going to fall apart, and I'm going to make mistakes, and that will be terrible. Well, I'm going to make mistakes no matter what. Like right now, I'm trying not to spend all of my time thinking about what's the right thing to say, but allowing myself to breathe and observe, and allowing this moment to be as great and grand and wonderful as I can make it right now. And a year from now, I'll probably look back on this class and think, what was I doing? But this is where I am right now. No better, no worse. Slowly coming up to the hands, tuck the back toes. When you feel stable here, inhale that left heel all the way up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, engage that core. Inhale up one more time. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale down to the forearms, pressing down with the palms. Inhale, bring that left knee up. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, bring it up, hold. Exhale, send it back. Use your core. Inhale, pull it forward. Use that breath. Exhale, send it back. And place the hips down. Roll the shoulders back, release the core. Long through the spine, thinking more about opening up underneath the low ribs than up through the throat. Letting the throat be easy, the back of the head be long. Releasing down, left hand out to the left side. Bend the right knee, send that right heel up and over. Still feeling those deep breaths. That warmth generated from your core. Reach the right fingertips back if you would like. Keep a little bend in that left elbow. Press down with that whole left palm. Deep breaths. And gently coming back through center. Make a little pillow with your hands. Turn one cheek down. Take 3 long breaths. Feeling your diaphragm pressing down into the mat with every breath. Trying to keep that warmth through your body. But for just about 30 seconds, try to slow down your heart rate. We'll get it moving again, don't worry. This ability to find this space of calm even in the midst of the chaos is the true power of this practice. It's easy to meditate in the middle of a forest. All you can hear is the sound of the wind and the waterfalls. The true work comes when we can meditate in the middle of our crazy lives. Gently coming back through center. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes. Inhale up for plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale that right heel back and up. Be sure that that right hip is not stacking on top of the left. Bring it all the way forward. Place it down in between your hands. Place that back heel down. Find your way up, warrior two. Really tucking the hips forward, pulling the feet in toward each other. Coming back to that space of observing, just noticing what's happening in the body. My body's having this sense of, I've been here so many times, I know what this feels like. I'm not really thinking about it so much. So I'm going to adjust. I'm going to take my foot a little farther forward, to bend a little deeper into that front knee, tuck the hips a little bit farther. Well, there are some new sensations. It's a little different, it's a little more challenging, requires a little deeper breath. Reaching a little more through my fingertips, relaxing the shoulders even farther down. Deep breaths. Right elbow, right thigh, left arm reaches. Same long inhales and long exhales. Seeing if you can tuck that right hip even farther, pull the feet even more toward each other. Maybe the right fingertips down, left fingertips up. Same deep breaths. Staying here, or reach that left hand behind your back, and maybe those right fingertips to reach. Long inhales, long exhales. Notice if you've lost a connection to your breath, pull it back a little to find that same long inhale, long exhale. Inhale coming up, warrior two. Straighten the right leg and reach. Triangle. Hands on your shin, inside or outside of the foot. Same deep breaths. Keep pulling back on that right heel. Keep that activity through the legs. Notice the sensation, just observing. And see if you can breathe a little deeper, Open just a little bit more, allow just a little bit more. Bring the left hand to your hip, bend into the right knee, reach the right fingertips out, walk those left toes a little closer. Slowly find your way up. Ardha Chandrasana. Deep breaths. Find that focal point. Expanding out from your center. Notice what happens when you take your focus up to your left fingertips, reaching longer. Notice what happens when the crown of the head becomes the focus, when that left heel becomes the focus. And then notice what happens when your breath becomes your focus. Little bend in that right knee, bring the left fingertips down. Square the hips. Inhale, straighten that right leg as much as you can, maybe bringing the hands to heart center. Same deep breaths. If you feel like that hip starts to come out of alignment, take the fingertips back down. Trying not to stack the left hip on top or let it fall right next to the right. Take an inhale in. Exhale, bend slowly into that right knee. Float those left toes all the way back. Gently place them down. And then send that right foot back to meet the left. Take an inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through and up. Exhale back, downward facing dog. As you're ready, we have one more side. Take that left heel up. Bring it all the way forward. Open up. Warrior two. Pulling the feet in toward each other, engaging the core. Observing. Noticing if the body is just trying to give out, just doesn't want to be here anymore. And being honest with yourself. Maybe taking a little bit of a bend out of that front knee so you can really find that alignment all the way along. Or maybe bending a little deeper to find a little more sensation, a little more concentration, a little deeper breath. Notice if the fingers start to reach forward or reach back. Find that nice center where the spine still feels long. Reach the crown of the head a little bit higher. And then left elbow, left thigh. Right arm reaches. Notice your thoughts, notice your focus. Finding whatever variation you have on the other side. Spending a little time here observing. It's hard to observe and not judge. I know that when I start to observe something, my knee-jerk reaction is to judge whether it's good or bad or something that I want to bring into my life or don't want to bring into my life. It's hard to observe from an unbiased, unjudgmental point of view. Just to observe a sensation, to observe an experience, to observe our breath. Just as when we observe our breath, we begin to control it. In the same way, when we observe an experience, we often try to control it. See if you can just sit back and observe. Coming back up, warrior two. Extending that front leg, reaching. Find your way, triangle. Getting into our hamstrings is a nice way to observe because it's usually pretty intense. Hamstrings are a tight and stubborn part of the body. So they're a good place to notice if we can sit back and watch and observe the experience in the legs without thinking, wow, that really hurts. Or, oh, I wish my hamstrings were more open. Or, oh, I wish my hamstrings were stronger. But instead just going, well, that's a sensation. That's some warmth being generated. That's interesting. Can I breathe a little deeper? Activate a little more. Bring the right hand to my hip and slowly find my way up as I bend into that left knee. Notice the focus, notice the breath. And then notice the desires, the wants, whether they're the wants of opening up, of being better at this pose, or the desire just to come out. See if you can notice the desire, and in the same way that you're just noticing the experience, don't react to it, but just notice it. And then breathe a little deeper, expand a little more. Gently let those right fingertips come down. Find your way, warrior three. Whatever variation you would like. You can hold for 5 long, deep breaths. Trying to find those same inhale for 3, exhale for 3. Notice if that right hip tries to start to cheat, and don't judge it, but just notice it, and then maybe put a fingertip down. Just recognizing, okay, that's where my left hip is right now. That's fine. Notice the thoughts, notice the focus. Bend into that left knee. Float those right toes all the way back. Take a moment in that nice lunge to release. And then send that left heel back enough. And place it down in a nice downward facing dog. Inhale that right heel up. Bring it all the way forward and through. Place that back knee down. Untuck the toes. Walk the right foot over. Find your way to pigeon prep. Keeping those right toes flexed. Bring that left knee up if you need to bring your chest out over your shin. And find your way down. A few deep, well-deserved breaths. But see if even in this release you can still continue to generate that warmth. Generate the power of your concentration. The strength in being able to sit back and observe. Allowing that unbiased, unjudgmental self-reflection. When we can start to get excited about the sensations themselves. Instead of where the sensations are taking us. And the sensations begin to become more of an enjoyment. But when we look for the joyful sensations, we will often find them wanting. Gently coming up to your hands. Tuck the left toes, send the right foot back and up. Release that side. Find your way to the left. Evening out the body. And at first take a little time evening out your breath. Find those same inhale for 3, exhale for 3. Continue to feel that warmth in your breath, that warmth radiating from your hips. Cultivating that warmth with your focus, with your concentration, with the deeper breath. If you can, let your head, neck, and shoulders release, maybe making fists with your hands. And really give yourself a few minutes just to notice, observe, reflect, watch the sensations, watch your thoughts. Slowly find your way to your hands. Tuck those back toes, send that left foot back and up. Release that side. And find your way forward to plank and down to your back. Start to reach your fingertips towards your toes. Lift your shoulder blades, head and neck up off the mat. Flex the toes. Start to lift your toes, point into the toes. See if you can slowly find your way up for boat. Keep those knees bent if you need to. Take an inhale in. Exhale, floating back, low boat. Inhale up to boat. This time bring your palms together. Exhale the palms to the right. Inhale them to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale low boat. Inhale coming up for boat. Palms together. Exhale to the right. Inhale center. Exhale to the left. Inhale center. Bend the knees if you need to. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale center. Exhale low boat. A few deep breaths. Try and keep the shoulder blades, shoulders up off the earth. Keep reaching through the tips of the toes. One more inhale in. And exhale and release. Take a few breaths Just feeling your weight, just feeling the warmth generated from your core. Core is our confidence, our balance, our breath. And then reach the heels up into the sky. Flex the toes, pull them back towards you. If you can't quite keep the legs straight, it's all right. Keep a little bend in the knees. Place the hands down by your hips. Press the palms down. And then lift the tailbone up off the earth. So you're just floating on your low back. And then lift the hands and reach. Lift the shoulder blades, the neck, the head. Same deep breaths. Keep the toes flexed, pulling back, quads engaged. And then slowly start to reach the heels down and away from you. And then lower them slowly all the way to your mat. Heels in towards your glutes. Push the heels down, lift the hips up. Coming into a nice bridge, you can tuck one shoulder blade and then the other. Interlace your hands if you would like. Or maybe coming into a nice supported bridge. However you would like to release the core. A few deep breaths. Coming up to the balls of the feet, rolling down one vertebra at a time. Take a little break. You can pull the knees up into your chest if you would like. Rock from side to side. I'm going to come up one more time so you can either press the heels and lift the hips and come into bridge, or take the hands by your ears and press yourself up for Urdhva Dhanurasana. Same deep breaths. Breathing down into the core below the ribs. And as you're ready, coming up to the balls of the feet, rolling down. You can either make your way into a headstand or send the feet up over your head, come into plow. Gently find your way up for shoulder stand. Or if you're not inverting today, you can just bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees fall out to the side, right hand to your heart, left hand to your diaphragm. If you've come up for shoulder stand, be sure all the weight is in your elbows and shoulders, not in your neck. Just give yourself some time for some nice deep breaths. As you're ready, finding your way down. Moving slow. And then everyone pull your knees into your chest as you're ready. Place the feet down the width of your mat. Let your knees fall in toward each other. Feel that nice release in the low back. And then let both of your knees fall to the left side. You can cross that left ankle over the right knee. Find a nice, gentle internal twist on that right side. Really beginning to let the body cool down. Let the breath be long, heart rate slow. Stepping back more and more, watching the sensations, watching your breath. Place that left foot down, distance of your mat, let both knees fall over to the right. Cross that right ankle over the left knee if you would like. Still breathing deep into the diaphragm, letting any thoughts that come in, just breathing it in with the breath and exhaling and releasing it with the breath. There's nothing we need to hold on to. Our life will be waiting for us just a few moments from now. Slowly coming back through center. Pull the right knee in, straighten the left leg out. Pull the right knee over the body with the left hand. Feeling that nice, easy twist, that wringing out, that letting go. So often when I am trying to step back and observe and watch my experiences, I find myself trying to document them so that I can then experience them again later, or maybe I can share them with someone else, or maybe this moment will be so great and then I'll miss it somehow. Slowly coming back through center, straighten the right leg out, pull the left knee in, pull it over the body. But then I started to realize that spending so much time observing my life in this state of trying to document it and capture it, I was doing the exact opposite of what I was trying to accomplish. I was missing my life. I was missing my experiences because I was so busy documenting them and trying to save them that I ended up missing them. So as you bring that left knee back through center and straighten it out, I want you to really focus on that release, on that letting go, on that allowing. Tuck one shoulder blade and then the other, release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And know that in these few minutes that we have, there's no great epiphany that you need to write down or hold on to. There's nothing you need to accomplish or figure out. I know that oftentimes that's hard for me to just allow myself this time. Time where I'm not accomplishing something, where I'm not doing something that's tangible and has a quantifiable result. This time of reflection, of being with ourselves, is a powerful time, but it is not quantifiable. We can't put a value on it. I found it interesting that priceless and worthless can be used to describe oftentimes very similar things. We can't put a price on time with ourselves, on reflection. We can find so much worth in it. So as you feel the weight of experience, the weight of self, the weight of the physical body heavy, I invite you for just a few minutes, as I hold space, as you hold space, to allow the space to do nothing, to just be. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namah. Slowly find your way back. Invite in a nice long breath. Feel that breath all the way to your fingers and toes. You can decide to stay right here, melting into your mat, or start to activate however feels natural, waking up the body, maybe stretching your arms above you, and again releasing into your mat, or rolling onto one side, keeping the eyes softly shut. Find your way back to that same comfortable seated position, and letting yourself lie easily on the floor, or sit easily. Noticing if your nervous system is a little calmer, if your breath is coming a little easier, if your thoughts seem just a little bit further apart. And maybe it's just a little easier to step into that role of the observer, to watch the breath, watch the thoughts. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Bring the palms together, exhale them down in between the eyes. May your life be filled with enlightened thoughts. Inhale, exhale the hands in front of the mouth. May you always have the patience for enlightened speech. Inhale, exhale the hands in front of the heart. May your heart have the healing it requires to live an enlightened life. Namaste. Take your time. There's no rush. I just want to thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you. It is truly an honor, a pleasure, a privilege to be in a place like this. As most of you know, these are all donation-based classes. We ask that you honor the suggested $15 donation if you're able, or leave whatever you can so that we can continue to bring this service to our community and to the world. For those of you at home, there's a donation button on your screen, and for those of you here, there's a donation station on your way out. And I hope that you will take some of this amazing work that you've done with you on your mat into your day, your week, your month, your life. And it is truly a brilliant one.